Welcome and thank you for joining us for this week's Bible Trivia Quiz. This time, we're delving into the realm of the extraordinary with 25 questions all about mysterious and unnatural events in the Bible. Please comment below and tell us how you did. Ready? Let's go. What happened to the Jordan River when the Israelites crossed it? It turned into wine. It parted, it dried up, or did it turn into blood? It parted, as we read in Joshua 3. What happened to the people at Pentecost? They suddenly spoke in different languages? They became drunk? They cried? Or did they become dumb? They suddenly spoke in different languages. This story is in Acts 2. What happened to the man's ear Peter cut off? It grew into a new servant? It turned into a musical instrument? It turned into a bird? Or did Jesus heal it? Jesus healed it. The account is in Luke 22. What happened to a man's withered hand when Jesus spoke to him? His hand spoke? His hand was restored? His hand fell off? Or did it turn to gold? His hand was restored, as chronicled in Mark 3. What did Balaam's donkey do that was unnatural? It asked a question, it flew, it became invisible, or did it breathe fire? It asked Balaam why he struck it 3 times. This speech braying is in Numbers 22. What happened to the walls of Jericho? They turned into gold, they grew taller, they disappeared, or did they fall down? They fell down. The story is in Joshua 6. What happened to the sun and moon during Joshua's battle? They turned red. They disappeared? They fell to the earth? Or did they stand still? They stood still. Check out Joshua 10 for the full story. What happened to the Red Sea when the Israelites crossed it? It parted? It turned into sand? It froze? Or did it disappear? It parted. Read more in Exodus 14. What happened to Lazarus 4 days after he died? He turned into an angel? He was raised from the dead? He ascended to heaven? Or was he reincarnated? He was raised from the dead. This story is in John 11. What happened to the men of Korah after they rebelled against Moses and Aaron? They were crippled? They were blinded? The earth swallowed them? Or did their chariots fall apart? The earth swallowed them, as we see in Numbers 16. What happened to the blind man when Jesus put mud on his eyes? He turned into a seeing animal? His sight restored? He gained superhuman sight? Or did his eyes turn into eagle's eyes? His sight was restored. Read John 9 for more. What happened to the 10 lepers when the priest saw them? They fainted, they were cleansed, they became younger? Or did their skin turn into a baby's skin? They were cleansed, as we read in Luke 17. What was Jesus' message to one of the thieves on the cross? Get a lawyer? You stole too much? There's no hope for you? Or I'll take you to paradise. I'll take you to paradise, as seen in Luke 23. What happened to the rock that was in front of Jesus' tomb? It turned into a door. It was rolled away. It disappeared. Or did it turn into a curtain? An angel rolled it away. This is found in Matthew 28. What happened to Eutychus when he fell out of the window during Paul's long preaching? He flew back into the window? He was raised from the dead? He turned into a bird? Or was he caught by an angel? Paul raised him from the dead. This is in Acts 20. What happened to the prison when Paul and Silas prayed and sang hymns? An earthquake shook the foundations? It turned into a palace? It disappeared? Or was it lifted into the air? An earthquake shook the foundations, as we read in Acts 16. What happened to Jonah when he was thrown into the sea? He was swallowed by a fish? He walked on water. He turned into a fish? Or did he breathe underwater? He was swallowed by a great fish. This story is in Jonah 1. What happened to the river Nile in Egypt during one of the plagues? It turned into blood, it dried up, it parted, or did it overflow? It turned into blood, as seen in Exodus 7. What happened to the statue in Nebuchadnezzar's dream? It turned into a living creature? It was destroyed by a stone? It flew into the sky? Or did it turn into gold? It was destroyed by a stone. This is in Daniel 2. What happened to Peter when he denied Jesus 3 times? He turned into a rooster? He was struck by lightning? A rooster crowed? Or was he turned into a pillar of salt? A rooster crowed, as we read in Luke 22. What happened to the manna when the Israelites tried to keep it till morning? It turned into gold? It bred worms and stank? It multiplied? Or did it disappear? It bred worms and stank. This is in Exodus 16. What happened to the axe head when Elisha threw a stick into the water? It floated? It turned into a fish? It sank deeper? Or did it turn into gold? It floated. This story is in 2 Kings 6. What happened to the sun when Hezekiah asked for a sign? It turned red. It moved backwards? It disappeared? Or did it fall to the earth? It moved backwards. We read about this in Isaiah 38. What happened to the fig tree when Jesus cursed it? It turned into a different kind of tree? It turned into a statue? It bore fruit? Or did it wither? It withered. This account is in Matthew 21. Final question. What happened to Saul on the road to Damascus? Was he struck blind? He turned into a different person? He was swallowed by the earth? Or was he turned into a pillar of salt? He was struck blind. The account is in Acts 9. Thank you for joining us on this week's Bible Trivia. Did you enjoy it? Please let us know in the comments. We appreciate your subscribing, liking, and sharing. Join us again next week as we continue to unearth the Scriptures. May the Lord bless you and your family.